Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Samuel Pikire. Is that how you say it?
Pikire. What? Good
Pikire.
attempt.
Sorry.
A good attempt. Good attempt. Don't worry, you're not the only one that gets it wrong.
And he's four wins, three defeats, and yes, pleasure getting you on.
Pleasure to be on with you too.
And my first question for you is, how did you get into the sport of boxing?
Um, um, I was at school one day, and the guy that's my trainer right now, they came to the school, and there was no. So a teacher coming to the lesson, and he said, "Ah, there's some boxing starting at an after school club kind of thing." And then me and my friend was messing about, saying, "You know what? Let's go over there, put a pair of gloves on, and let's see who can really have it," kind of thing. And we both went there, and obviously it turned out to be something completely different to what we expected. We actually had to learn the basics, the fundamentals, the training, but I just kept showing up, and I kind of enjoyed it. And I was always a sports guy in school anyway, so I just kept going, and then kind of fell in love with it, and then the rest was history.
Hmm. And did you have any amateur fights?
Yeah, I think I had 12 or 13 amateurs. I got to the Midlands final. That's as far as I got. But my style didn't really suit the amateurs because I was always short and I was always an inside kind of fighter. I think my first amateur fight, I took on like a really, really, really good prospect fight. I was supposed to be going to the GB England squad. He was coached by Leon Edwards, MMA fighter now.
Mm.
And then I think I took him out in like 30 seconds the first round, and I didn't get no amateur fights around Birmingham for like a good, a good year. So I started branching out, like fighting away, like Liverpool, Wrexham, and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I kind of got fed up because when you're doing amateurs and stuff like that, you're not making no money, and I've got responsibilities like kids, bills, and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, if I do another year and I don't get no fights, I'm gonna try and turn over and then go the pro way, which what ended up happening eventually.
Hmm. Of course, you've had seven fights so far, and you made your debut back in 2022, and you fought Liam Richards over 4 rounds, and you won 40-36.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Talk about that fight.
It was a very good debut, to be fair. Fair play to Liam Richards. He was a very experienced. He made it very awkward for me, and I let little bits and bobs from that fight. But skill wise, I think I was way better than him. But from what I took from that fight, he knew how to work the rounds, how to steal time, how to survive in terms of knowing to grab or just the little things like that. So that's what I took from that fight.
Hmm. Was there any nerves, and what was it like fighting at Villa Park? Well, the whole suite.
You know what? The hardest bit about that fight, I think, was the walk to the ring. That was the hardest. That was the most nervous part of it because all eyes are on you, and it's your debut, and it's just a lot is going on in the moment. But once the bell goes, adrenaline kicks in, and one or two things are either going to happen, you're either going to win or lose. So you just get on with it.
Hmm. And of course, 40-36. How did you feel on, well, yeah, overall, how would you rate your performance that night?
I think I gave it as six. If I'm not quite sure, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Um, from as far as I can remember, in terms of there was things I could have done. I could have been a bit more fitter in the fight, and there was just certain shots I could have set him up with. I didn't use my jab as as reluctant as I could have in terms of setting up shots. So yeah, that's what I took from that.
Hmm. And then you had your second fight at the H Suite in Birmingham, and you fought Stu Greener, and unfortunately it was a 39-36 defeat.
Yeah, yeah. With that fight there, I don't really mind that fight. That fight there, that was another good learning curve as well. But I didn't take that fight as a loss. I fought that fight if you go back and look at it, I fought that fight at welterweight actually, and I'm not a welterweight. So as you know, in the boxing game, I was the home fighter. Mr. Green, I was the away fighter. When
Mm.
we turned on the day and we jumped on the scales, um, he's weighed in whatever he's weighed in at, and obviously I've weighed in at the scheduled weight. But I'm the home fighter. I'd already sold God knows how many tickets. The last thing I want to do is go back to people and tell to them, no, I'm not having the fight because he's coming kgs over and stuff like that. And to be quite fair play to him, he's very very experienced fighter. His record does not give him enough gratitude for what a good fighter actually is. To be fair, because I tried to blow him out the first round and he held in there. He fought fire with fire. To be fair, and then in the end, his experience ended up getting the edge on me because I gassed out thinking the third, and then after that, I tried to box my way around. But yeah, I was pretty much in survival mode.
How hard was it to take your first defeat?
You know what? It was a tough pill to swallow. It was a very tough pill to swallow. You know what it is? Um, it was very hard in terms of you're losing in front of all your friends, and what made it worse was that was the first fight my mom was ever actually attended to. Because I've been boxing, you're talking 12, 15 years now. So she was like, you know what? Let me just come to see what you're doing and try to support you. And then I ended up losing. So you can imagine how devastated I was because afterwards she come up to me and she's like, do you see why I don't like to come to these things? And I was pretty much just, yeah. But, you live and you learn.
Mm-hmm. But you returned back to winning ways against John Spencer at the H Suite, and you won 40-36. How good was it to get back on winning ways?
Yeah, after your loss, obviously, there's you get hungry, you want to go back to the gym, work on your faults, and you want to get back straight out there, which is what I did straight away. I won that fight quite comfortably, to be fair. I actually put my tie and boxed my way around. Um, that fight was, I wouldn't say it was easy, but I could kind of read him through as the rounds was going on. He was like a worse version of Liam Richards, if that makes sense. So he was pretty
Similar
much.
fighter.
Yeah, so he was a bit predictable, and when I tasted his power as well, there was nothing in his power. So I was like, all right then, cool. I can just box my way around him.
Mm-hmm. And yes, and then you fought June last year, Planet Ice, Soul Hill, another 40-36 win over Kieran McAfee.
Kieran McPhee, yeah, yeah,
McAfee.
that's the one. Very good sportsman. Got nothing but respect for him. To be fair, he turned up. He did try another goal, but I think I was a bit too strong for him. To be fair, but yeah, that fight there, um, it was comfortable in terms of I actually fought at the way that I wanted to fight at because we'll get into a little bit later on that, but yeah, I fought that fight at the way that I was comfortable at, and I prepared as well as I could for that fight. So um, I won that fight. I won that fight as expected, and I tried to take him out in the last round. I could have got the knockout, I believe, for that fight
If it
if
was
I
six
pushed.
rounds, you would have stopped him, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I would have pushed on what Yeah,
Then you fought Daryl Tapfuma in the box off tournament.
yeah. Big shout out to Dara Fuma. I liked that fight in terms of we didn't have similar styles, but we had similar attitudes. So I'd like to believe that me and him were made that box off more entertaining than what he more than everyone else. He came to win, I came to win. Um, what I took from that, I fought with more than with my pride and ego rather than my brain. Had I been a bit smarter, I would have actually went and won that fight. But I fought with my heart rather than my brain. But big shout out to Daryl Tafiu, man. He turned up that night and he pressured me well. Like he used his head well, pressured me very well. And in the last round, he changed the gear and he got the final stoppage in the last seconds of the fight.
Were you a bit disappointed with the stoppage due to it being like 15 odd seconds left of the fight?
Yeah. I was not happy with with the stoppage, to be honest with you, because there was 15 seconds left, and I was trying to swing back in a way, I wasn't like jelly legged or well, I wasn't like all over like, oh my god, somebody help him or whatever. I was still coming forward, even though he was throwing his bombs away. But at the end of the day, the ref's got a job to do. If he feels like he needs to stop it, then I guess he needs to stop it. There's nothing much more I can do about it.
Do you believe you were up on the cards?
It was a close. I think it was a close fight, but due to the last 15 seconds of the fight, it could have went either way. He probably would. He would either would have nicked it, could have been a draw, could have split. It could have went. It could have went either way. It could have went either way.
Mm. That was a very good fight to watch.
Oh, definitely. When I'm good and ready, I will get the rematch to with Tafi, man. Because not because I think I'm better than him or anything like that. It's I think it's good for the boxing world and this styles. It's a very entertaining fight, and of course I want to go and redeem myself because I do know that on a better day where I'm a bit fitter, I definitely can beat Tafi, man.
Hmm. And then you fought Jake Pollard and you beat him 40-36.
Yeah, with Jake Pollard. After the Tafima fight, I spoke to my manager John Pegg, and I told him that I want to go down to I wanted to go down to bantam bantamweight, that well, because I feel more comfortable going down there. I feel like I'm a bit stronger in the weight category. So I said I wanted to go down to bantam, and they couldn't get me a fight at bantam. They could get me one at feather, which was Jake Pollard. So I said, all right then, let's have a go with that weight category, and then we'll take it on from there. And I pretty much I made that was light work, Jake Pollard, but but yeah, that's the way I felt comfortable at.
Hmm. And of course, your last fight, you fought Giorgio Viz Vizioli, and you got stopped in round two. But I mean, fought live on the zone. Talk about the experience you had over in Belfast.
It was a very good experience. Shout out to Georgia Fisioli and his winners, and I wish him nothing but the best in the future. Um, I lost fair and square. I'm not an excuse maker or anything like that. When the phone call came in, it came in like 3 weeks before the fight. Just coming off Christmas, and I sat there and I was like, you know what? It's not every day that ever get a chance to fight on the zone or on the TV channel. Don't get me wrong, I always knew that one day I would get on there, but I didn't know how soon it would come.
Mm.
And you gotta understand, in this boxing scene, I'm not coming off as a Olympian. I'm not coming off as a top ranked amateur or stuff like that. And my manager, he's got more than 25 boxes
Mm.
under his belt. So this is actually, and obviously I want other boxers to learn from this as well, because they always tell you this, yeah, because boxing is our job now, so you should always be ready at all times anyway. So when I got offered the fight, had I turned around and said no, the chances are, not saying that's what he would have done, but that's how I'm looking at it. He probably turn around and say, you know what, let me put him at the back of the queue, and I don't know when I would have been fighting next.
Mm. Talk
Yeah.
about the fight itself. I mean, round one, yeah.
Um, I felt it was about. I actually felt good for that fight. I was fine. I thought, you know what, it was I looked him up and I said, right, he's knocked out his last opponent, so he's gonna be thinking, he's got the adrenaline, he's basically gonna be thinking, okay, I can do that again. So when we looked at it, we said, right, I definitely knew that um I definitely knew that I'm strong at that weight category, and I just kind of felt him out at the weigh-in anyway, just to see, like, you know, and I sized him up a little bit. I thought, okay, cool. He was taller, was much taller than me, but the size difference there was not a big difference. So I was all right. Round one, we're gonna go in there. I'm gonna get in his face, and I wanted him to land a couple good shots, just so I can show him that I'm not respecting his power like that. And which if you look at the fight, he landed a couple shots and I still kind of moved forward and moved forward and moved forward. So I got back there and I got back to the corner after the first round. And funny enough, my trainer said, don't go out there and do that the second round because there's a good chance he's going to try and counter you. I was like, nah, it's all right, man. Let me try and pressure him a little bit. And then we've gone there. He's through a jab and he's through a second, but I've slipped it.
Mm.
And then as I thought, you know what, let me try and get on and even throw a right hand to the solar plex, but I did not throw it and bring it straight back to my chin, if anything. And he used his feet well, to be honest. It was a wicked shot. He caught me with that and then flush. I went straight down to the floor. But even though he knocked me down, I still felt alive. I was okay because I got up and I was like, oh, you know what? Good shot. I was even messing about. If you go back and look at the fight properly, he's dropped me. I've looked up and then I was messing about because I just started like humping the floor, like messing about. And then I've got up and I thought, let me look for the neutral corner and then carry on the fight. But I've never been dropped flush like that before, ever, since boxing. Since I've ever started boxing. So the lesson that I took from that, don't get me wrong, obviously I've watched boxing plenty of times in my boxing years or whatever. What I should have done when I got dropped is take a knee, actually get my wits about me, recover properly, look or stand up, look at the referee and wait for him to point me to go to the neutral corner. And then I believe the fight would have carried on. But me being the man I am, I've got up straight away. I've looked for a neutral corner and I'm walking there. But in my head, I'm thinking, I'm okay. I'm walking there. But when I looked at it afterwards, after the fight finished, my legs were a bit everywhere, to be fair. So, and I had my back turned against the referee. So he had every right in his decision to ref the fight off. But I was very upset because I was only just getting started. Because that was my first ever 6-rounder. I said to myself, let the first 3 rounds go and I just turn up the last 3 rounds and have a proper fight with him. But unfortunately, that didn't get to happen. So that was that. But I was grateful for the opportunity. And as much as I lost on the zone and I took a TKO, I was not actually upset because I know the kind of talent and ability I have to box. But I will be back. I will get back on there by the end of the year, and then I'll get to show everybody what I'm made of.
When can we expect to see you back out in the ring?
I will be back out in the ring. My aim is to get back out end of March, start of April. I'll be ready to get back in the ring end of March anyway, because what I'm doing now, I'm going down to Bantam now.
Will that suit you better, would you say?
That is my, because I walk around at 62 kg anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna get a proper nutritionist. Not that I haven't already got one, but I'm gonna do things the right way properly this time. Take my time, do a proper train 8-week camp, and then go down to bantamweight, and then I'm gonna start my campaign at that weight. I believe I will have a very, very good run in there, and then from there I'll go up to featherweight, and then go back to super featherweight. I'll right all those wrongs that I've lost so far.
And before I let you go, mate, do you want to thank manager, trainers, sponsors, just anybody who's helping you out on your boxing journey at this moment in time?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to thank you personally for taking your time out to offer me this interview. You know, I know you've been trying to get a hold of me for a while, so I appreciate you for giving me this interview. And you know, I want to thank my boxing gym, which is a DNA boxing gym. My trainer Anthony Hall. We've come a long way. You know, when I started this boxing thing, I started it as a hobby, and then we've just said let's see how far it goes. And now I'm 7 fights in, so I've already done what I wanted to do in boxing, which was just to get to the pro scene. My sponsors, I want to thank IMF Electrical, James Booty. You know that guy. He's not just a sponsor. He's more like family. He's a friend. He's known me since I was a boy, and whenever I phone him for anything, there's no questions asked. It happens straight away. Midlands Carpet Cleaning, the best cleaners in the Midlands area. I appreciate them a lot. I've also got First Choice Mortgage, who's recently jumped on board. They sponsor me every month. They buy anything that I need in terms of boxing kit, any food like supplements, any boxing gear and stuff like that. Also a big shout out to Mellows Catering. Mr. Derek Rollins is a proper businessman, and he knows a winner when he sees one. That guy there, he came to my debut fight. I did not know him from anywhere, and he was like, you know what, I would like to jump on board and support you in your boxing career. So a big props to him as well. Also, my manager John Pegg is doing a very good job on my career. Sometimes I give him a lot of headache. Me and him know what we're talking about, but he knows how to deal with me. He knows how to handle and deal with me very well. So a big shout out to John Pegg. And most importantly, thank you to all the boxing fans, man, and to anyone that watches us boxing, and to anyone that's ever supported me personally, because we live in hard times at the moment. And I know that people that come to see me fight, they spend a good money to come and see me fight. So I just look forward to getting better at boxing and just putting on shows for them. And that's what I'm here for. But I do believe my next 5 fights, they're going to make everyone, I will be the guy that everyone's going to talk about, and we'll make a good story, because there's going to be so much improvement to the previous passing. I believe in the next interview that we do, you also mentioned it yourself.
100%, mate. And yeah, thank you for your time, mate. And I can't wait to see you back out in the ring in March. And yeah, big year ahead of you, mate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
And yours, mate. Bye. Have a good evening.
All right, take it easy. All right, thank you.